So we're getting right into it. Thank you, everyone. This is episode 8. I fucked up on the Windows things that I sent you guys, but this is episode 8. We have here Alex. So Alex dates one of my good friends, Mike J, which has been a repeated guest on the Puka Circle podcast. So please make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow the content on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, where you can find all this. So I made Alex and Mike answer a little trivia question. I'm not going to say how they did yet, but until Mike comes, Mike's going to come a little bit later, 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes into the podcast. But we're going to start off with, let's see. We're going to be talking, the topics today are going to be relationships, the upbringing, goals, and other conversations that we just throw in there as we're speaking. And I'm going to thank you, Alex, because you helped me pick some of the topics, some of the questions, so I do appreciate that. And also, I'll ask you, just because it makes more sense. What do you think I should do? When Mike comes, should I make it like a part 2 thing like I usually do, or just all in one?
Part 2.
Part 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely stick to that motto. But if anyone has any advice or any feedback on that, let me know, because I also want to know what you guys like. Sometimes I find it hard finishing like a 3-hour podcast, but depending on who's doing it, like Rogan, I don't mind.
Damn.
Yeah. But I like the part 1, part 2s. All right. So Alex, it's your first time here, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're a little bit cold down here, so
It's okay. I have my heater.
Yeah, you got a little heater over there. The fucking 150 that cable that he brought over there from upstairs. So just like every episode, we start off with intro questions, and the first intro question is going to be, tell us something you have recently learned that has changed your outlook in life.
This is good. I think it would be just not to be so hard on myself. And I think I realized that after I graduated college, just not take everything so seriously, and not everything goes to plan how you have it in your mind. Mm-hmm. And just because something doesn't happen when you want it to happen doesn't mean it's bad, or doesn't mean it's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like I just always put all that pressure on myself. And I realized it because I didn't want to take a year off after I graduated, and I ended up taking a year off. And I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Everyone does it. It's not that deep. It's okay. So definitely that. Just...
It's I see where you're coming from. I like that, actually. But I can see why you also didn't find it a big deal, because you're gonna at least actually, can you let us know exactly what you're studying, because I think that's gonna amplify everything.
So at Adelphi, I was pre-law. I majored in criminal justice, minored in sociology, wanting to go to law school. And I still want to go to law school. I know I'm going to go to law school, but my plan just didn't go how I wanted it to. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to law school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But talk to me a little bit that before we enter into the next question, how tough has it been? Because, obviously you want to be a lawyer, correct?
Yeah.
And just for anyone that doesn't know, there's so many fields within becoming a lawyer. Did you know right off the bat, where you wanted to practice?
So originally, I wanted to do family law, mm-hmm. and then I was like, absolutely not. And then I started taking electives in high school and obviously at Adelphi for criminal justice and stuff like that. So I really want to work for the DA and be a prosecutor. And then where I'm working now, I'm working on a matrimonial law firm, and I was like, oh, I swear I would never do this, but I like it so much. So I think I would start off in a DA's office for a little while, and then go into private practice, do matrimonial law, just so I could do both.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. But no, good for you. Honestly, the break, I think a lot of people, like you said, do it. But, the reason that's a big fear and a lot of people don't encourage it is because a lot of people don't also. A lot of people get lazy.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people don't go back.
Yeah, because once you start earning money and you start realizing, I don't want to go back to school, it's tough. So I don't even, first of all, becoming a lawyer, that's years of school. So good for you. The fact that you're going that route, that shit must be hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 2. At what moment did you realize you became an adult?
I feel like I'm still figuring it out. No, probably when I started college. I saw a lot of kids at my school who didn't have as much responsibility as I did, and I was kind of taken aback almost, where I was like, what do you mean? A lot of people don't have credit cards, or a lot of people their parents are filling up their gas or whatever it was, and I was like, wow, that's really weird to me. So I think just like the difference in our responsibilities, and we're all like around the same age. I was like, oh, probably, I don't know if it's just because I'm mature, the way I was raised, whatever it was, but this the differences. I was like, oh, I'm like adulting compared to them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was in the same boat as you. I had a lot of my bills to pay, a lot of things that I had to take care of. So definitely found it weird when parents were like, but I get it. You know, I understood where they came from. And obviously, I was very jealous for a lot of those, benefits that students got. Because fuck, man, paying for your gas and shit, like I can't even imagine. All right, let us go straight into it. You were already touching on some of the topics already. You were bringing up the upbringing. But let us first go on how you two met. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So me and Michael worked together at TD Bank.
Shout out TD.
TD sucks. But he was a store soup, I was the teller, and he had a big fat crush on me, and he kept it a secret for like 6 months, but everyone knew. Customers probably knew.
Yeah?
Hell, 100%, I would say so.
Wow. So it wasn't a secret to you.
No, I knew, but I don't think he knew that I knew, but I thought it was very obvious.
You know what it is too? As a guy, let me just put my small input in that. Because, I kind of had situations like this, but it's just like, I think we think we do such a good job of just playing it cool, or we kind of want you to know, so we don't care that you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like we're in denial, but not really. Like we know. It's like, all right, we know that she knows. What is she gonna do? Is she gonna play along with it? Is she gonna, give me a clue or a cue to like advance? And that's obviously what my next question is. When you did find out that he had a crush on you, how did you react to that?
So I kind of I was like, okay, like I get it. I didn't start liking him back until a few months later, just because I was like, we're friends. Like, I don't want to be in my mind, I thought a relationship could work, but I didn't want to jeopardize the friendship in case if the relationship wasn't what we thought it would be, because then it would be awkward going back to being friends. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, maybe we should just stick to being friends and keep it like that, because if it doesn't work out, then it's gonna be weird.
I definitely get you. Ironically, was the part of him being a supervisor also weird? Like, did you feel like that at all? Was anything weird?
No.
Okay.
I think I actually got away with a lot, him being the store soup.
There we go, Mike. You let a lot go through just because of a crush. But I get it. Trust me, I definitely understand where Mike's coming from on that perspective. All right, so you find, you know he has a crush on you. You're looking more of the friend route.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is an obvious answer, but what within the friend route made you start realizing that you liked him?
Honestly, I think it was more so the way we were outside of work, because we would hang out. We would go get food or whatever it was. We would go to Insomnia in Brooklyn or whatever it was, and it wasn't awkward, and it wasn't pulling teeth to have a conversation. And when he got COVID and he was out for the 2 weeks or whatever it used to be, I was like, oh, I kind of miss seeing him here. And he used to call me, and we would talk on the phone for 3 hours, each time, because he would just drive around because he couldn't leave his house. So he would call me when he's driving around the city or whatever, and I was like, okay, maybe I like him now.
All right, so the friendship started there. Who was the one really pushing the friendship? Was it just a mutual thing?
I think it was a mutual thing, and I also think he was more hesitant to do anything just because we did work together. Mm-hmm. And I think if we would have dated while we worked together, I would have been able to keep the secret, but I think he wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, definitely hard to, because you worked in the same building, right?
And then, we had to get transferred.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would have been tough.
So I think that's why he waited it out for so long.
All right, so you two become friends. Obviously, you already know his age by the time the friendship's starting.
Yeah.
Did the age gap matter at all to you in the beginning of becoming friend? If you don't mind me asking, what's the age gap between you two?
He's 6.5 years older than me.
All right, so basically, sorry, Mike, I'm gonna fucking shout, make you sound really old right now because I'm the same age. So we're 29. So you're 22. You're 23, turning 23.
I'm turning 23 in February.
Okay, so you're turning 23. when you guys first met, you were really young then.
I was 18.
Did you find it cool? Was it any benefit of having an older friend, honestly, like at that time?
I think so. Just because he was like my oldest friend, and I got to see things, I guess, from a different perspective. Like if I was being dramatic about something, he'll be like relax, like it's really not that deep, it's not that big of a deal. So I guess in that way.
Okay. And when you did start liking him, did the age thing ever occur to you as a negative thing, a positive thing? Like, did it even bother you at all?
I would say it didn't bother me, but I would think of it more as a positive than a negative, because I was obviously talking to guys my age, and the conversation just wasn't there. It was like talking to like someone years younger than me. So when I would talk to Michael, and like it would be more mature, it would be like it would make more sense. Like we could go back and forth, and also like guys my age are just like want to hook up.
Yeah, it's very true. Young people. I mean, me and
Yeah.
Mike were both young once. We were there. We absolutely. It's so it's so weird that they say like men mature a lot slower than women, and
I believe it.
yeah, it definitely makes sense because like even now, right? Like you look at us and we're 29. Be honest. There's sometimes you question Mike's age, right?
There's moments, I'm not gonna lie, there are definitely moments where I'm like, okay.
Like him and George hanging out.
Oh, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
That's like they're like teenagers.
Which is crazy because one's a dad.
I know, with another on the way.
Yeah, exactly. One's a dad, and they're both homeowners, and it's just funny. It's funny. Like I know where Mike's coming with that the maturity level, and it's funny that you said that because I feel like that is definitely something that a lot of people say. And you know what it is too, though. Do you, let me not get out of it. Let me stick to this little rubric over here. Let's see. All right. So, do you feel like the friendship foundation definitely benefited your relationship of where you two are now?
Yeah, because I think we were able to get comfortable with each other. So then when we did start dating, it wasn't like that awkward talking stage, because like that was done with, Like we
Yeah.
knew what we liked, we knew what we didn't like, we knew how to annoy each other. Like it was like comfortable. It was more comfortable getting into a relationship.
I gotcha. So when you hear this in social media, like, oh, he got friend zoned in the beginning, was it something that he was pushing always, or it was just like, as time happened, you yourself were pushing the friend zone maybe to get out of it, or was it just like you said, you just naturally kind of just fell for him?
I think it was more naturally. I don't think it was like more like I'm putting him in the friend zone. I think like we were like always making fun of each other back and forth, or like doing like something flirty back and forth, which was probably terrible for everyone else we worked with in the branch.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think we like either like friend zoned each other or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it was just like a natural mutual like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Like an upgrade almost from a friendship.
I gotcha. So obviously, Mr. Mick J, a lot older. What kind of perspective has he brought to the relationship being an older person? Like, what kind of positive outlooks have you seen in that?
The first thing I could think of is like finances, because there were a lot of things that I would want to spend my money on, and now I'm like, oh, like do I buy, let's say like this bag or whatever it is, or do I save it for a house? And I feel like that like jump really like made me realize like how I should be spending my money, or how I should be saving my money, and what to put it towards. So I think that changed my perspective. He helped me a lot with that. I think that was good. Also, I think with him being older, he showed me a lot of things that he thinks that he should have done at my age and he didn't. So he's like teaching me from his mistakes.
I got that. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is going to sound, please don't take this offensively. As a younger person,
Yeah.
I just, like I said, don't take the question offensively. How do you think, and what do you think you brought having a younger mind, a younger perspective into the relationship?
I think I got Michael to try some other like few things. I think like I bring him out a little more. Like he always used to say that he would hate going to the city, but every time we plan to do something, I always try to drag him to the city. So I think I try showing him a little bit more stuff. But that's it, really. I don't think anything else. Or maybe patience. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little annoying to him.
No, but I like what you said. You know, giving him more of an open mind, because as you do get older, that is something that we. I'm talking like I'm so fucking old, but we do get into like a habit, into a like a certain circle that we do, like a pattern, right? And I feel like dating a younger person can definitely make you try new things, continue
Yeah.
living like as if you're still young, but I feel like that stigma shouldn't be there. You shouldn't want to continue like you're still young. You know, I am still young, so I think that that's 100% true. Like I think you younger people definitely bring out the things that you haven't tried, a new routine,
Yeah.
a special occasion, things like. And by the way, I hate the city too.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I would move to the city tomorrow if I could.
What's so special about the city?
Okay,
Please.
so honestly, I think it's because I grew up in Queens.
Oh, okay.
And my mom moved us out right before we started high school because she didn't want us to go to the high school that we were like zoned for.
I don't blame her.
So I think like when I had my chance to like go out in the city, like when I could by myself, we already moved. So now I always go back to Queens, or I always go back to Astoria or the city or whatever it is, because now I could go out by myself.
All right, let me ask you something. Describe to me what's so special about the city, please, or the Queens life. What about it makes you just love this place?
I don't know. I just love it. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like there's always something. Even if it's late, you could find something to do. You really can't be bored in the city.
I guess that's true. There's always something happening.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I'm such a grandpa with it. This is me even in my early 20s. I hated the smell. I hated the hobos. I hated the piss everywhere. My experience with the city hasn't been the greatest, but I definitely do agree with you. There is always something happening. It's always exciting. There's I even can't deny that. There's a fight. Cops are involved. Ambulance here. Taxis are about to run you over. So I definitely agree that there's always something going down in the city.
I love it. But it's funny because like my brother would say like, "Oh, I never go back," and I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I would go back.
Yeah, I'm with your brother. So now that you're basically mentioning your family, let's kind of move in. Actually, no. Let me ask you one more question. Why, if let's just say one of your friends, right?
Okay.
Meet one of my friends, and they ask like, "Oh, Alex, like, what advice can you give me in dating an older man?" Mm-hmm. What would you say?
I would say like any advice they're giving you, don't take it as criticism. Actually take it as advice. They're trying to help you. And like I said, it's probably because they made the mistake. So they don't want to watch you make the mistake. So definitely take their advice. And also, like, there's certain things, like, since they are older, there's certain things that they're thinking about that you probably didn't think about. So if they bring that up to you, like, let's say marriage or buying a house or something like that, don't, like, freak out over it. Like, don't take it like, oh, absolutely not, I'm not doing that now. It's not that they're pressuring you to do it. It's just that they see this plan with you. They see a goal with you. It's not forced upon you. It's just on their radar. So I think, like, open up to, like, a different opportunity or, like, a different goal that you might want to set for yourself.
So let me ask you something then. Obviously, it looks like you and Mike had very serious conversations. When those serious conversations, happened, at first, did it scare you? Did you have to communicate that to him to make sure that he wasn't like making it feel like he was rushing things?
I mean, when I think the first time he like brought up marriage, I was like, whoa, like relax.
How quick did he bring it up? Please let me know. Please let everyone know, because we as his friends want to know. And it's not clowning him. Don't worry. Just you can be honest.
It was definitely before a year. I don't know if it was as early as like 6 months, but definitely between 6 months and the actual year mark.
And be honest, like in the beginning when he first mentioned that conversation, was it weird to you? Was it scary? Was it all? Do you feel like it was mentioned too early?
I don't think so. I don't think it was weird or anything like that. Just because like, obviously, like with the relationship, I wanted it to be like you're dating me because you see a future with me, not for like a fling. So I like that he was actually thinking about marriage because I think it just made me feel a little bit more secure. But the first time he did bring it up, he was like, oh, like I plan on proposing in this year and then getting married in this year. I'm like, push it back. I'm like, you gotta push it back. And it was fine. Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, this is I'm older than you. This is my timeline. It was just like, okay, like when you're ready, then we'll both be ready. And like, he also thought about it like from like a financial point of view. Like, okay, so by that time, let's say we push it back a year, I'll also have more money. So it wasn't like he took it like offensively. So
Okay.
that's why I think I was like more like okay with it. Like if he came off and he was just like, no, well, this is what I want. I'm like, oh, sorry. Like I can't give that to you.
Yeah, no. So he was open to the feedback as well. Like it was
Yeah.
like a constant communication between you two.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It looks like you carry yourself you're very mature for your age. So, shout out to you for that. There's not a lot of, well, this is also why you're going to hear my point of view. The only reason there's two reasons I don't look into, well, I've never seen myself dating a younger woman. It's only because my nieces are like 5 years apart from me. So
That makes sense.
so I always found it weird. And like, I was just like, oh, there's no way. Like, and God forbid this girl knows or is friends with my nieces. Like,
That would be so awkward.
yeah, like I just find it weird. That's one major reason. But now as I'm getting older, I don't really, I don't think that age matters. It's not a thing. Unless you're a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other fucking.
Unless it's not legal.
Yeah, and then we're talking about a whole other subject. And the other one is just because I felt like a lot of females were immature. I'm like, oh, they'll never understand. But now that I'm talking to you, it also opens my mind to understand that, ladies do mature a lot fucking faster than men. And it's like you're a perfect example of it. But like I said, there's not every young girl is an Alex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to you for that. But can I ask you a question? Why do you think that men do, because it is a stigma in social media and it's being pushed a lot. Why do you think men want to date younger women? Like you'll see a couple like
Yeah.
35-year-olds, like I know a couple that pushing 42 that date women that are in their 20s.
I mean, so there could just be just because like you both like each other, whatever it is. But I think there's like sometimes where men think that if they have a younger woman, that not all men, but some think that like, oh, well, then I could get her or I could teach her how to do things the way I like it. Like she'll know how to be the girl for me. And then like you make her do this a certain way or make her do this a certain way. And it's like you build your perfect girlfriend because she's so young and maybe naive that she's like, oh, well, he's looking out for me or something like that. Or maybe like just because guys see younger girls as like being easier to have like babies or something.
Yeah, more like a biological clock thing.
Yeah.
Wow, I never actually thought of it like that. I'm learning so much with you, Alex. Yeah, wow. Maybe it is that. I think it could be the first thing you said. Definitely a big factor to it. I never noticed that maybe you could like, you see, because the thing is, I've never dated a younger woman. The youngest girl I've ever dated, I think, was 2.5 years younger than me.
I feel like that's nothing.
Yeah, so like I've never really experienced that, but I guess you're right. Like I guess men feel like they can like just
Like shape her or something.
yeah, like you just opened my mind to that. Like holy shit, I never even thought of it like that. And look at that. You see, this is why we have to have these open discussions. Like these are questions that I as a perspective, I never even thought of it like that. All right, let's move on a little bit. Did you have any questions continuing about the relationships that you want to ask? Because a lot of it also I'm saving for when Mike comes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you have something that you want to say?
I don't know. I didn't think of anything.
All right, good. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah?
When Mike comes here,
Okay.
we're gonna make it juicier. We're gonna make
Okay.
fun of him. All right, let's talk a little bit about your upbringing.
Okay.
Talk to me about your culture and give me a little background.
Okay, so I have a very basic Italian family. There's not many of us. My parents are divorced, so I have my mom's side. And we're not super big, but we're really tight. And I know that if I call like one of them right now, they'll be at Michael's door like within a minute. Yeah, so I have my brother. That's it. It's just me and him.
Okay.
He's 10 months older than me. But he acts like he's like 5 years older than me. But it's fine. He comes to me for advice too. I guess that's kind of like the maturity thing too. Like,
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it to say it. You're very mature for your age.
yeah. And then so it's me, my mom, and my brother. And my mom is like My mom is very old school. She's very strict. More strict on me than my brother, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
But she is like I know everyone says like their mom is the best, but my mom is like a superwoman. Like the amount of things that she's done for like me and my brother, I still like can't wrap my head around.
Shout out to Mama, man.
Yeah,
Mamas always find it.
No one's gonna love you like your mom loves you.
Oh no, absolutely not. That's especially I can't even imagine the love that your brother gets.
Oh my God, the mama's boy, typical Italian mama's boy. Come on.
I'm telling you, I have a feeling that Italian families and Spanish families are a lot more alike than you think because it's the same thing.
I got that. I can see that.
Because the amount of my brother, well, my obviously, I'm the baby boy, so I get love. So my sister always feels like she never gets the amount of love that I get or my brother gets. But my first brother, her firstborn, she would fucking do anything for him. He can do all the wrong, which he's done. My brother's done a lot of that. And she sides with him no matter what.
Oh my God.
Like my mom will die before she admits that my brother's wrong.
I think with me and my brother, I think my mom, like, she sees me as being, I guess, more mature. So she's like, okay, you're fine. Like, I know you're good. So, like, she'll, like, give an extra hand to my brother.
No, absolutely. She definitely does.
Yeah.
There definitely is. Like, I don't have to know anything about your family. I can guarantee you she does. All right. So you mentioned the divorce thing. So hopefully we can touch a little bit on that. Do you think that's also a reason why you're so mature? Like, I feel like that might have been a big factor.
I think so. I think we did have to grow up pretty fast just because of a lot of things that were going on. Like, we had to be able to speak up for ourselves and make our own decisions pretty young, especially with, like, how serious everything went down. So I did think that made us grow up pretty quick.
It also has to do with the Queens things. You guys are so tough, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it has to be. Because Queens people, they don't fucking play around. People from New York know. When you're from Queens, you have, like, kind of like this rough persona. And I can see it from you. Like, when
really?
I feel like when you need to throw down, you would fucking throw down. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah,
especially, like, with the people I love and care about, 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so do you believe the years of dating... All right, so let me ask you this. Let me phrase it better. What were some values that you were instilled with as, from a family perspective?
I guess, like, you're loyal to your family. Even if they do something wrong, you defend them outside, but once they're inside, you can tell them that they're wrong, they're stupid, whatever it is. But you stick with your family.
You always... Okay.
You always stay with the family.
So, let me ask you something. When you met Mike, became friends with Mike, these values that you were instilled, did you see Mike having the same values as well?
Yeah. He's always helping his mom, and he takes care of his mom, which I like. I think, like, the way you see your man talk to his mom, like, if he's talking down to her, like, how do you expect him to talk to you? Or how do you expect him to treat you? Especially when that's his mom. Like, that should be, like, the most important woman, like, in his life. So if he's going to treat her like garbage, imagine how he's going to treat you. But Michael does really good by his mom. He helps Anthony a lot. And I like that. I appreciate that. Because if I see that he could take care of them, then obviously he's going to take care of me if I need something. So I think that's important.
All right. And the first time that you met his mom and his family, how did that feel for you?
So it was actually when they were, I don't know if it was the final walkthrough or the inspection or something on this house. And it was really nice. Like, Anthony and their mom was both here, and then Michael picked me up from my house and brought me here. And, like, I walked in, and I was so nervous. I was like, I don't even want to go in. Like, I'll wait in the car. I'll wait for everything to be done. But it was fine. Like, they were like, oh, hi. Like, we knew each other already. Like, no big deal. They were like, oh, let me show you this. This is where this is going to be, and you could help, and you could come shopping. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. So it wasn't,
That's
like,
good.
awkward or anything. Yeah.
His mom's the best. I love her.
I know.
Every time,
I know.
she's such a sweetheart.
She really is.
How about the opposite? How was it introducing Mike to your family?
So Michael met my mom before we even started dating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Michael.
At TD?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was during COVID, and, like, we were split into teams, and me and Michael were on opposite teams. Our manager probably did that on purpose. But I had a barbecue at my house, and Michael and two other of our coworkers came, and that's when my mom met Michael. And literally when Michael left, my mom was like, you got to date him. And I was like, that's gross. I was like, no, he's like technically my boss. I was like, never going to happen. And she's like, you're going to date him. I was like, Mom, you're crazy. Like, no, it's not happening.
Mike put in a good impression.
Yeah. And then when I told her I was going on a date, she was like, who? And I was like, oh, Michael, I work with him. She was like, what did I say? Like 2 years ago? I was like, it's fine. I'm like, you don't got to bring that up. I was nervous, though, for him to meet my uncle because my uncle's really like my dad.
Gotcha.
So I was like, shit. I was like, what is he going to say? I was like, what if he scares Michael? What if he says some like crazy outlandish thing? Like,
nah, Mike doesn't get scared. Mike's so, you know what's one good thing about Mike? He's such, this is how I describe it. He's very douchey. So he's not afraid to like give it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he has a very like Middle Eastern vibe. Like you have no idea. I used to fucking hate Michael back in the day. Like with certain things that he did, it would tick me the fuck off. He used to snap at waiters. He's gonna deny this story. He used to snap at waiters because he just thought it was normal.
oh, like actually snap.
Yeah, he would
I thought you
snap.
meant like give attitude.
No. He would never fucking give an attitude to them. He's always been a working man, so he knows like the service. But for some reason, like small little things, I think like that's a Middle Eastern thing. Like they used to snap, but they don't mean to disrespect. Like I understand, like you're trying to get someone's attention.
Yeah.
And
Maybe make eye contact, Michael. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, and when he did it, I'll never forget. We were at the diner. I fucking blew up. I was like, yo, Mike, you cannot be fucking snapping at people. And you know, and he'll critique me at certain things that I do, and that's how we are. But you'll never catch him snapping at waiters ever again.
No, I would
Thanks
call
to me.
him. I would call him out for that.
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
saw
definitely.
that.
If you ever
I'm
see
like,
that,
what
you
are
gotta kick him in the
doing?
balls.
Yeah, what the hell?
But like I said, like I feel like that's definitely. But if you're Italian, that uncle definitely.
Yeah. And it was funny because me and my mom and my godmother were sitting in the kitchen, and then him and my godfather were on the couch, and I saw them talking. I'm like, oh my God, he's definitely having that talk with him. So I took a picture. And I still have it. And then like after everyone left, I was like, okay, tell me what he said. Tell me everything. And then he was like, no, like he's very protective of you. It's very sweet. I was like, oh God. I was like, okay.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's how uncles should be. That's how I hope I am with my niece. Every time I met their boyfriend, I always just look pissed, no matter what. I have to.
Like the really hard handshake.
Yeah, the handshake.
Yeah.
The like, what's up? What up? Like, because I know I'm not, like I said, I'm only 5 years apart from my nieces. So like every time I met one of their boyfriends, I'm just like, what's up? Like, nice to meet you.
Unbothered.
Yeah, and my niece is always telling me, they're not scared of me, but they're just like, yo, what's good with your uncle? Like, he looks mad all the time. And they're just like, oh, no, that's how he is with you guys. He's eventually you'll rub off and he'll like say things to you or give him a couple beers and, he'll say what up.
He'll open up.
Yeah. Give me a couple Coronas or Modelo's and I'll definitely be a nicer guy. Okay, so I know you said that, your parents were divorced. Now, let me ask you a couple questions on that. Well, your parents are divorced. You grew up with your brother, your mom, and Mike obviously grew up with his brother, his mom, and then sadly his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Not the same situation, but how is that strengthening your family? Like you said, you're tight, obviously, because dad wasn't there.
Yeah.
But what, like, give me an example. Like what made? Well, obviously, I'm not. I feel like the answer is your mom. Like your mom was definitely a key
my
factor.
mom. Definitely my mom. And I think the way that everyone just stepped up. Like my mom's younger sister definitely helped her out a lot. And when they did split, we used to live in Middle Village. And my grandmother had a 2-family house, and she used to live upstairs. And I don't know if they were renting the bottom or whatever it was, but we moved back into that house. And it was like all hands on. Like my mom's baby sister moved back into that house, and my mom was also getting a lot of help from her mom and her sister. And just like they wasn't bothered, because like when my parents split, like my dad was out of the picture, but his whole family was too. So the way my mom's family stepped up, it was just like they care about you.
It showed you the importance of family.
Yeah, especially because like they didn't, like we weren't their kids, but they treated us, and they still treat us like we're their kids. So I think that made the bond stronger. And also because I guess when I got older, I realized like how much like I appreciate everything that was done, because there was no way it was easy. And like, I guess when I was younger, I would always see like kids in elementary school going on to Disney or this or whatever. And I would always go home like, Mom, how come we don't go there? How come we don't go on vacation? Like, I just been on a plane with Michael like over the summer. That was my first time on a plane.
Really?
Yeah. When I'm like in elementary school, I saw kids going and doing it. I was like, how come like we never do that? Not like understanding. But now that I'm older, I'm like, we had food to eat all the time. We had clothes. We had heat. We like had steak to eat. And like, I guess now I appreciate it more because that was all my mom. Like that was just her. And that's crazy to like, when I think about it, I'm like, she really did that. Like that was her. Like that blows my mind.
No, yeah. I've been fortunate. My parents never divorced, but my nieces, sadly, I'm trying to think. All my nieces have experienced divorce, and
it's rough.
It definitely is rough. It could do a lot to a kid. How old were you, if you don't mind me asking, when that happened?
So the divorce didn't happen until later. My parents split in 2003, so I was 2. And then he would like come back sporadically, come and then leave. And then the divorce didn't start until like 2009. So I was 8.
Okay.
And then it was a very long divorce. So it didn't end until I was in like 7th grade.
Oh, you experienced probably what my other niece experienced. Yeah, it was just like an ongoing situation between my brother and my sister and her ex-husband. You know what? But it's good because it showed you the importance of family. It showed you values. It showed and your mom stepped up to the plate. And,
yeah.
And it's good that you're gonna be a freaking lawyer. Like
yeah.
I know your mom's gonna be fucking set. She knows she did right with you. And I feel like it's funny how like I don't like to use the word destiny a lot, but it's funny that Mike and you like met like and you have like core values that
yeah.
are very similar. So it's very sweet. Let's see. All right, so talk to me about some of your goals. Like, what are you looking to do in your life in the next? I know, like, this. I guess that's intro. Them. Oh no, okay. That's from season 2. Tell me about some of your goals that you're looking to do.
Definitely get into law school. I'm studying for the LSAT again now because I did apply and I got into 2 schools, but I didn't get into the one I wanted to.
Gotcha.
And I want to go to CUNY just because I know I could pay for it out of pocket. I didn't want to take out loans again.
I don't blame you.
So definitely going to law school. I would want to buy a house or maybe buy a house and like live in the basement, rent the top or something like that. Maybe engage, hopefully engage Michael.
Yeah, my I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And then probably married. And then I don't know. I don't really know when I want kids yet.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit of being young, which is so good in this. Like, there's a lot of benefits with that because time is definitely in your favor.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but I feel like a male can definitely kick. And if he's anything like Spanish people, Mike he's gonna be fine. People say he looks kind of Dominican to Puerto Rican sometimes.
My mom thought he was Italian when she first met him.
I can see Italian too.
Yeah.
It's the hair.
It's definitely the hair, the curls.
But I think those are good aspirations, good goals to have. And I know you're going to do it, Alex. Like the way you've just carried yourself, like the way you're conversating with me, we don't really get to have one-on-ones that much. So this is like our first one-on-one.
I know.
So, I think that you two are in good hands and I like where you two are going. And I think he basically told you in year 1 that the engagement is definitely happening. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. 1.
Yeah, like exactly. So, let me ask you one more thing too then. You're turning 23, you said this year?
In February.
In February. So 23. Do you think that a person that young is going to, especially dating someone now, like with ambitions, finances, he has a home, like, and you said like you're so amazing with the open-mindedness. So do you feel like Mike and you are definitely going to be financially really good in the next like 10 years because you're open to it, you're going into a great career, he already knows what not to do, you don't have like a blockade of ignorance? Like how do you guys see what are your future goals as a couple? Let's just say you're married already. Like what are we looking in the next 10 years for you two?
Like aside from kids?
Yeah, aside from kids and all that, yeah.
So you know how he's like doing real estate?
Yeah.
I think I would like to, like, he'll sell, I'll close. I think that would be cool if we have like our own thing going on.
That'd be sick.
That would, like, oh, the Jacobs are taking care of your closing, no big deal. And
I
then
like that.
and then like I want to have different rental properties with him, just so we have that other source of income. I think that would be a really good idea because like we don't have to just rely on our salaries. Or like we could use like the rental income for like spending and then save our salaries or something like that.
Look at that. Look at that. It's so mature. So like I feel like I'm talking to someone my age, which is so crazy. So like I like the fact that it's like a good benefit that you two met, and like I said, I don't think every young person is like you because you're definitely an exception. I'm not even trying to give you like too much credit, but like a lot of people your age, like I have employees that are your age, Alex, and I can tell you they're not saying what you're saying. Like I definitely tip off my hat to you because a lot of them were like me, and I'm shitting on myself because when I was 23, I wasn't thinking like you. When I was 23, I was fucking, right now I was on my like 10th Corona, thinking about if I'm going to fucking Cherry Valley after and getting a fucking sandwich. So definitely good stuff, Alex. Like I'm very, very impressed by like how your answers. And I know you're not just saying this because I feel the confidence and everything. Do you feel like the field that you entered made you mature too? Like I mean, legal stuff is definitely like intense.
I guess so. I would think so because of especially the conversations we used to have throughout class. Like no one would get offended by anything else someone else was saying, and I think like you can't. Like if you're gonna take things personally, this is not you should not pursue that type of career.
Oh, this is also a good question that I wanted to ask you. So when obviously you're friends, right?
Yeah.
They obviously knew Mike was a lot older than you. Did they have any negative things to say? And if they did, how did you take it?
They really didn't. I knew Sam before I knew Gabby. I knew her since freshman year of college. And then I started telling her like I was dating someone, and she was like, like as long as you're happy, as long as you're comfortable, it is what it is. When I told Gabby about the age difference, she was like, no way, like how did that even happen? She was like, I guess kind of like taking it back, like how is that possible? But then like they come out with us all the time.
Yeah.
And literally they call us mom and dad. Like we went to the Halloween bar crawl and in Huntington and Farmingdale, and me and Sam ended up on our asses, and Michael took care of us. And like the next day, Sam just couldn't say, thank you, Michael, thank you, like thank you so much. And then now they want to go to SantaCon in Farmingdale. They're like, is Michael coming? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to clean up after us again.
Yeah. So let's also talk about that. Actually, no. You know what? We're gonna get Mike in here very shortly because I feel like it's definitely time to get Mike involved. And did you want to talk about anything else before we get Mike in here? I feel like we did good with the one-on-one so far.
I think so too. I think we did really good.
I'm very shocked. I'm not trying to say like you guys are gonna think like I'm so. I don't know. I'm just very impressed. Like I told you, I have nieces that are a year, maybe 2 years older than you, and I guess I'm astonished by their maturity level, and then I just feel like someone younger than them couldn't be that mature. And look at you, you're a prime example. I'm telling you, I'm not even trying. I have employees your age, and they amaze me sometimes. Some of them, you can tell like they're entering that field of maturity, like they want to do better, and they're approaching it in a different way. But the answers you've had have just impressed me. So good shit, Alex. Good shit. Like, all right, let's get Mike here. All right, thank you. That's part one, and then part two will be coming out probably a day after. So thank you for part one.